guys, welcome to today's literacy lesson. Today we're going to be doing a read lesson, but first we're going to do our starter, which is at looking at prefixes and suffixes. Let's have a recap about what a prefix and a suffix is before we start. A prefix is a group of letters that go before the root word, whereas a suffix is a group of letters that go after the root word. These change the meaning of the root word. So today's suffix we're going to be looking at is ness. What words can we think of that end with ness? First of all, why don't we see what this suffix means? Usually, ness is added to adjectives, which are describing words, to make them nouns, which are things. So here are some examples of words that have the suffix ness. So we've got weak, which would turn to weakness. We've got dark, which would turn to darkness. We've got happy, which would turn to happiness. And we've got lazy, which would turn to laziness. Can you see a difference with how this suffix has been added compared to maybe on this side? If our root word ends in the letter Y, I've had to take it off and add an I before I put my suffix on the end. Can you think of any other words that end with the suffix ness? As a quick starter, pause the video and see if you can think of any other words which end with today's suffix. Great, let's move on to today's lesson. So today, our learning objective is to read and understand a non-fiction text. To be successful in today's lesson, we are going to be finding keywords. We're going to be skimming and scanning the text. We're going to be finding evidence in the text. And if we're really trying to challenge ourselves, we might be trying to use a quote to support our answer. Let's look at today's text. So I have attached the text on DB Primary. So if you've got it in front of you, then you can have a look at it. If not, I'm going to get it up on my screen and we can have a look at it together. So this is today's text. Let's have a little look so we can see initially who the text is about. Have a little look at the text because I have a couple of questions to ask you about the text. Let's have a look at what our questions are about the text. Our first question is, who is our text about today? And the next question is, what type of text are we reading today? And there was a bit of a hint in the learning objective as well. So let's go back to our text. So who is our text about today? Well, for starters, we can see that the title is Queen Victoria, and there's also a picture of her there. So our text must be about Queen Victoria. What type of text is this? So in our learning objective, it said that we were looking at non-fiction text. So it is a non-fiction text, which means that all the information in it is true. It's something that has happened. It's not made up. And it's a type of information text. So that means that this text gives us information about something specific. Good. So now we've had a look at today's text, we're going to have a practice at answering some questions together, and then you're going to have a go at answering some by yourself. So here are some practice questions. So the first one says, when was Queen Victoria born? Now, when we answer our read questions, it's quite a good idea to pick a word that we're going to skim and scan for in the text. So what would be a good word that we should skim and scan for in the text to find our answer? It could be Queen Victoria, or it could be the word born. So if I go back to our text for today, we should be skimming and scanning the text until we find our keywords. Oh, there we go. I found born. And now I'm going to read around our keyword to find the answer. Victoria was born on the 24th of May, 1819. So I found my answer, so I'd write my answer down. Next question. The next question is a true or false question. And it says, Queen Victoria and her mother were rich. Now, that's a statement. So what we have to do if it's a true or false question is we have to skim and scan and read the text and see if that statement is true or if that statement is false. So having a look at that statement, Queen Victoria and her mother were rich. What word do you think we should skim and scan for to see if that information is in the text? I think rich would be quite a good word to skim and scan for. So let's go back to our text. So having a look at our text, can we find the word rich? Oh, I found it just here, rich. So I found my word, my keyword. So now I'm going to read around the keyword to see my answer. So I might actually go back to the start of the sentence and see what context it's in. It said, although they lived in a palace, Princess Victoria and her mother were not very rich. Oh, so if I go back to my statement, does that make the statement true or does that make the statement false? Good, it makes the statement false because Queen Victoria and her mother were not rich. So I would write false for that question. So now we're going to go on to our last practice question, which is, explain why the little princess was lonely. And for this question, it says explain. So that means we don't just write one word, we have to explain our answer and explain why the little princess was lonely. So maybe using the word because and finding some evidence from the text. So if we go back to our text, we're looking for why the little princess was lonely. So a good word that we could be skimming and scanning for would be the word lonely. So skimming and scanning for the word lonely. Oh, I found it. It's over here. Lonely. So again, I'm going to start from the beginning of the sentence and have a read and see if I can find the answer to my question, because we're trying to explain if the little princess, why the little princess was lonely. It says, but with no friends of her own age, the little princess was lonely. So from that, I know that the little princess didn't have any friends her own age, so that is why she was lonely. So if I go back to my set of questions, if I was answering this question, thinking about our purple success criteria, which we have to use quotes, I might answer my question like this. I could say, the little princess was lonely because the text says, now this is where we're going to put the quote in to show our evidence. So I'm going to put my quotation mark that I've got from the text. The text says, then we're going to see exactly what the text says because we're taking it from the text and we're putting it into our answer. So we need to write it exactly what it says in the text. So the text says, and this is the bit we're going to take, with no friends of her own age, the little princess was lonely. So that's the bit I'm going to write in my answer. So I'm going to go back to my work. The text says, with no friends of her own age, the little princess was lonely. And that's a bit that I've got from the text. So I'm going to put my close quotation mark and my full stop. So there I have answered the question and given evidence with a quote, which would be using our purple success criteria. Good. So we've had a little practice together. What I would like you to do now, today's task is to answer the questions on DB Primary. So I have attached a PDF and there are two sets of questions. There is an easy set and there is a challenging set. So have a go at which one you feel comfortable with doing. And it's really important to remember to use the text to help you, okay? Make sure you're reading it carefully as well so we don't make any little mistakes. So read the text carefully and use it to help you. Good luck doing your work, and I can't wait to see the work that you've done. Make sure you upload it to the task section on your DB Primary page. See you soon. Bye.